Hey there, Erin here. Welcome back. Today I'm giving you a tour of my sewing studio. Now before we get started, I want to let you know that I've written a very detailed blog post with all of the links and a whole lot of information on the things that you're going to see here. And you're going to see more pictures with a better picture of what's happening in this room that just can't be caught on camera. So make sure to visit that blog post below to learn more about my pieces. So I'm going to take you around my space. It is in my home, and I'll show you where I sew. So starting with where I am at my desk, believe it or not, I spend my time here more than I am actually at the sewing machines. So, you know, running Style Sew Me as a blog and Style Sew Me Patterns, the pattern collection, I do a lot of computer work. So my most important space to me is actually not my sewing area, it's my work area. So I have my computer here, some photos, I have my journal, whichever one that I'm working out of, because I run through journals really fast because I use them daily. But I have my journal with my to-do list, and I just keep it close by because I need to often have brain dumps, and I'm like, ooh, you know, and I have to write it down. I like to keep my little flyers that I put in my packages when people order my printed patterns. I like to keep that on my desk. It's just kind of a reminder of the brand, I guess you can say. I have this photo of my husband and I from our engagement. It's one of my very favorite photos. So I keep that on my desk. A couple of pretty mugs, you know, desk stuff available to me. I also have my printing situation, so I can print labels to ship patterns, and my regular printer where I test my PDFs and such. Now next, I have my bookcase. I have two bookcases, both from Ikea. One of them has what's left of my pattern inventory for Style Sew Me pattern collections. I do have patterns available both in printed and PDF format, and so I keep the printeds right here, and I'm able to pick and pull to process orders when they come through. My other bookshelf keeps my fabrics, and as you can see, I have a lot of solids, and I have a very small selection of prints. But if you've been following me for any amount of time, then you know that I'm not really a big fan of prints, that I love my neutrals. Here I am wearing black and gray, and I feel perfectly beautiful. So I have a lot of reds, and I rarely ever wear red, but for some reason I have a lot of red fabric that's probably not going to be used in anything but maybe used for testing. But yeah, I have a lot of darker colors, the peaches, the golds. I'm really kind of filling up with those colors, so that's what I like there. So next are my dress forms. This dress form is a PGM dress form. I got it from Amazon. This other dress form I have is a blue jean, kind of a costume dress form. I got this from Joann's a very long time ago. Now we're at my sewing area. This is my main machine. It is a Serger straight stitch industrial machine. Not many people have heard of this brand. I hadn't heard of it either until I went to my dealer. And I went to get a Juki, but after I talked about my needs and what kinds of fabrics that I sew for the most part, this machine was, I think, maybe $100 less than the Juki, and it does the exact same thing. And so I went with this option, but it does have a Juki motor. It's just the body of it is from Serger, and I absolutely love this machine. Honestly, I don't know why I didn't get one earlier. I don't sew as much for myself because I'm constantly testing patterns and things like that for my pattern collection. But when I do sit down and sew, I'm sewing for hours and hours, usually in a day. Sewing machines choke up. That's what they do. This one does not. I can be on this thing all day and we don't have any issues. Also, I got it from a local dealer, and if I had a question about the machine, I could just give him a call and he'll answer my questions. And yeah, they came and they set it up. Yes, it is bigger, but I love that it has this table, because this flat space here is so good for me when I'm working with larger pieces like women's clothing. So, and it has the little knee pad here that I just push with my knee to raise my presser foot. I love this machine. Love, 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 love. Okay, so we're down to my other machines, my commercial machines. This is my Baby Lock Tempo. If I'm not using my straight stitch, so if I need to work with knits, buttonholes, you know, I need zigzag, I need anything but a straight stitch, I use this machine. She is a very good machine. I got her from a local dealer in my area. I would definitely suggest, actually I get a lot of questions about, you know, what's a good machine to start with. And my suggestion to everyone is, you know, I can give you a recommendation, which is the Brother CS6000i. But if you were going to invest anything above a starter sewing machine, I would suggest that you go to a local dealer, bring scraps of fabrics from the types of fabrics that you sew the most, and go and play with different machines because they have different strengths and weaknesses. When I went to go buy my industrial machine, I brought like 10 samples, just scraps with me, denims, wools, chiffons, knits. I brought with me scraps of what I tend to sew with the most, and that is how I chose the machine that I chose. And so and I talked with the dealer and said, hey, these are the fabrics that I tend to sew with, and because I tend to work with a lot of heavier fabrics, we chose to go with this one. So like I said, a starter machine, you know, fine, you can go to Joann's, you can play with sewing machines, but take some scraps with you and go and use the machine yourself. Like, this is an investment that can last you 20 something years if you take care of your machine. So choose the one that's best for you, okay? Get the information that you need. So this is my serger. She is a Baby Lock Imagine. I love this serger. I started off with the Brother 1034D and I upgraded to this one, and it was the best decision ever. I love the air jet threading. It makes threading like a breeze. And it automatically adjusts its tension based on the types of fabric. So if you've seen a serger like the Brother or the Singer model, you would see the tension knobs up here. Well, this doesn't have it because it automatically adjusts the tension, and you don't have to worry about your threading looking crazy when you've changed your types of fabric. So worth it. Love it. Baby Lock Imagine. Also got this from the same dealer that I got my Baby Lock sewing machine from. This is my Janome Cover Pro 1000 CPX. It is a cover stitch machine. I sew with knits fairly often, and this is a great way to get a beautiful finish that really looks like it comes from the store. Do you need this machine? No, you do not. Did I want this machine? Yep. Come on. So next up is my sewing table. This is kind of a 3-part situation here, and the table itself is actually an Ikea island. It's a big slab with adjustable legs, and I actually got this idea from Mimi G when I saw her post hers. I need a big table because, you know, sewing women's clothing, you have large pieces to work with, so having a large cutting space for me was super important, and I love this table. Underneath this table for my storage options are 2 dressers put back to back. It's the Tarva dresser from Ikea, and one of them is just falling apart. It's been moved a lot throughout my house. My husband and I put it together, so I'm pretty sure the one that I put together is the one that is falling apart because that ain't my ministry. But you know, IKEA is this DIY situation. It's affordable, it's cheap. So, you know, one of them is hanging on its last legs. The drawers don't even close that well anymore. But the one that does work well is the one that I use primarily anyway. And so there's something in all of these drawers. But the ones that I use the most are the ones with my scissors, my marking tools, pins, my measuring tape, rulers, pattern weights. I have a drawer with zippers, elastics, one with buttons, sewing, presser feet, interfacing. Those are the ones that I use the most, and they all fit on one of those dressers. The rest of the stuff is like little knickknacks and things, extra serger threads and things like that I just didn't want all out, making my space look all cluttered and stuff. So once these dressers finally fall apart, I'm going to get another storing solution, but I don't know what that is yet. But for the time being, this is what I'm using. So this last corner here is just kind of my junk corner. Like up against the wall, there's smaller rotary mats, my whiteboard that I'm not using at the moment, and these are just old fabric bolts for fabric that I use for testing. It's fabric that I ordered a very long time ago, and then when I got it, it just was really poor quality. And so I just use it for testing out tutorials or testing, you know, patterns and such like that. These are some patterns, PDF patterns that I got printed at my local printer because I bought a whole bunch of indie patterns, some of which I covered in the last video, but I was getting ready to sew up some of these indie patterns because I've got some from True Bias, got a couple of Mini G patterns, a Beauty J'adore pattern, and some other people, I don't remember, but that's who these patterns are, and I'm eventually going to sew them up. And I was like, let me print them and maybe that'll push it up a little higher on my to-do list. This is my box of electronics. This is like memory cards, hard drives, camera lenses, etc. This box over here is all of my have all of my used journals in them. I like to keep them just to kind of every now and then poke back and see where my head was a couple years ago. The rest of these are a few instructional books for sewing, and my binders, and a little expandable folder with, you know, receipts and business stuff in there. So yeah, that's all that's going on in the shenanigans corner over here. So I hope that you have enjoyed my tour of my sewing space at home. Remember that I've got links to everything that you'll see here in the info box below this video. So I hope that you enjoyed the tour. If you have any questions about anything, leave a comment and let me know. All right, I'll see you later. Bye.